I'm really interested in your take. Is, I totally appreciate that it's so different for all clients, like what they're trying to achieve, etc., and what their brand's about. But is there sort of is there kind of a consistency of approach that you might take across the board in terms of just like starting to understand what that might develop into?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, it is the audience every time, and it's understanding your audience, and that isn't just what they like and what they don't like, although that is highly important. It's also understanding the sort of periphery of things that make them tick and interest them. So while you could be talking about a car, for example, people just don't like cars. People who like cars also like food or sport or things like that. And it's looking at their passion points around that and how you can tie that into a story to make it more relevant to someone. I also think understanding the audience is understanding where they are and what they do on these platforms and why they are on those platforms. So a B2B message on Facebook might work, but actually is that better placed on LinkedIn because they're on Facebook, no doubt, at 2 a.m. in the afternoon after sort of a carb heavy lunch, just trying to get a bit of an escape before going back to a relentless inbox. So it's knowing where your audience are at what time and why they are there, and then tailoring those messages to it, I think. So it's understanding the audience from a platform perspective, from an intent perspective, but also from quite a personal perspective as what they like.
One of the things with audience I think is really challenges is, so do your clients come to you with a lot of detail about their audience? Because I think one of the challenges with SME is that you might know your audience more intimately than in a corporate because you're closer to them, but you might not have that much data.
So you'd be surprised, actually, when we get a target audience, it's often not that specific. It will be it will be business decision makers aged 35 to 49, for example. Right. And that's what we get.
Not bringing in like a cardboard cutout of Barry and saying, "This is Barry, married, 2 kids."
We have had that. We've never had a. I'll be honest. I've never had a cardboard cutout yet, but there's always time. No, we do occasionally get more specific sort of pen portraits of segments, but it tends to be fairly broad. Okay. I think more so at CNN, and I think that is down to the fact we are, as I mentioned earlier, pan-regional. So we're potentially a broader brushstroke in terms of a marketing effort for certain types of clients. Certainly in previous roles I've had, certainly at courts or 100% at Publicis, you do get more detail, but largely the understanding of the audience comes from first-party data that we have. So we know that we have these segments of people. We know the sorts of people that will interact with different types of content or sections on the site and are able to target that way. I think for SMEs, yes, you might have that sort of greater sort of personal connection, I guess, with the audience, but that doesn't mean to say there isn't data points out there that you can't augment what you're looking to achieve with. I think certainly, I mean, a great start, for example, is Google Trends and things like that, where you can just see what people are searching, how you should be framing your story, and then broader. There's all forms of data out there from, be it Global Web Index, or again, Google's a great source of it, where you can start to build up a bit of a data set of sort of ideas to try, I guess, because while may not marry perfectly with your audience, there's certainly points there and certainly jumping off points that allow you, from a content perspective, very quickly and easily, and most importantly, cheaply to try. Because a lot of content, unlike what we were saying about podcasts being a slow burning sort of medium at the very top of this, there are areas in content marketing that are very easily done and can show some very quick results.